My name is Delamer Ituarte, and this week I'm in Mexico City to follow the artistic steps of my anonymous protégé. André Breton described Mexico as the most surreal country in the world, and it really is. Always surprising, this wonderful clash of European and Mesoamerican cultures is certain to enchant any visitor. My artist found a spiritual path in this country many years ago, and it is reflected in his series called Awakening. Join us in a transcendental experience in the vibrant city of beautiful contrasts.
Affix means when you fixate something, when you make something like land, when you put two pieces together, okay, to fixate. That means affix. Coeval means something in the present, something that is happening now. An orb, it's easy. What's an orb? The planet Earth is an orb. Something that's round and sphere is an orb, okay? So affix to the coeval orb, because what does this resemble to? What do you see here? Oh, this is a plug, exactly. So it's a plug that's coming from inside to outside, that it plugs into reality, into the present moment, okay? So it's a plug that is fixating, connected to an orb. So it's living in the present moment, okay? Affix to the coeval orb, connecting. And we have our next piece here, hindered chastity. It's up there, okay? What does hindered chastity mean? Hindered is when something is broken, when something stops, when something is destroyed. And chastity has to do with not having sex, being virginal, you know? Taking care of your sexual energy, not destroying it, not losing your virginity, basically, okay? So hindered chastity is when the artist was 14 years old. He studied in a monastery, okay? He grew up all his life in a monastery because his parents didn't want to be responsible about him, so they sent him out to France and he grew up with the monks. When he was 14 years old, he was pretty young, the artist was sent out to give a present to a cardinal that was staying in a house, okay? But the letter of the cardinal was, his handwriting was so bad that the artist didn't understand, so he got lost. And when he rang a doorbell, this beautiful lady opened the door, and he said like, hey, I'm lost, can you help me out? I need to find this address. And the lady was like, yeah, sure, come inside, I'll show you. And when the artist went inside of the house, he found like 30 beautiful women, and they all started playing around with him, trying to show him where the address was. And so they started partying, and something led to another thing. But he was 14 years old, so he was in a way deprived from his innocence. Okay, and then he had the best time. He decided to give the golden chain that was a present to the cardinal that he was going to give him. He gave it to the people, and then the next day when he arrived to the monastery, his superior was very angry at him, and he was like, well, why? I was worried. And he started crying to like make up, and he was like, oh, well, I was kidnapped and I was lost. And that was true, because he was kidnapped and he was lost. The only thing that was a lie were his tears, because he was crying of joy, honestly. It's called Ode to Onus. What does an ode mean? An ode is a poem, a chant. Okay, something that is beautiful, that's an ode. And onus is a sense of responsibility, okay? So when I say ode to onus is the chant to responsibility, okay? Worshipping responsibility. So what did the artist do here? So the artist, if you see this piece, it looks like if something was pulled out of here. There was something before that was covering this, and now we can only see what's behind. What does that mean? When we really want to discover ourselves, we have to take layers. To take layers, till we discover really who we are, okay? Inside. So this piece is completely related to Ode to Onus, okay? One thing is taking layers, and one thing is going more deep inside. So this piece here resembles the tunnel the artist started going inside of himself to meet the real monster of his personality, his delusions, his bad characters, every bad aspect that made him be who he really wasn't, because everybody has two sides, right? But to really become friends with the monster who is inside of you, you have to meet him, you have to go deep inside, you have to touch that dark corner, things that maybe you really don't like. That's the only way to go a little bit higher, okay? So this is why the piece is up there, and it's completely deep. It was really hard making this piece because the artist had to bring this machine to really dig deep inside. got so sick of the monastery, he decided to run away. He ran away to Paris, okay? And there he really started discovering this life of pleasure and hedonism. He was a very, very charming gentleman. Remember that he was very well educated, okay? So he had manners, he knew how to speak, he was very charming. So he tricked a lot of ladies. He didn't fall in love because he was really, really, really like, he was a gigolo in a way, okay? Until he met a woman called Maria. Maria, he really fell in love with her. Maria was really intelligent, and she knew perfectly what was his kind of dirty games, okay? So in a way, they became really good friends, and Maria started telling him like, hey, don't do this is not good, this is bad, realize this. So you can say that before all his spiritual awakening, his first awakening was when he realized all the things that he was doing wrong. And Maria gave him a nickname. There was proper little swine. So this piece is called banal contentment. What does banal mean? Being shallow, superficial, without creativity, without freshness, nothing deep. It's banal. And what does contentment mean? Contentment means satisfaction, okay? So tell me, what are all the superficial satisfactions that we live in this world? Food, alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, clothes, shopping, exactly. What else? Video games?
Sex. Pills.
There's so many banal contentments, okay? So, there's a holes in the wall, in a way also related to Ode to Honest and the Annihilation of Breathing, the other pieces. But in this case, they're full of trash, okay? So it's all the spaces that we, well, the artists, but like, that we fill with trash of everyday banal things that makes us be happy, which they really don't, okay? Because nothing is gonna really make us happy, because they're just superficial things, you know? The artist was totally lost in these things that were completely trash of everyday stuff, okay? So this is banal contentment. Does any... But this piece is called Prestige Adrift. Everybody knows what prestige is, right? Like fame, success, what else? Like prestige is something that makes us feel better, okay? That's the prestige. Maybe also, what's this word? Reputation can be prestige as well. And adrift. Adrift means when you flow away like a boat, when you drift into the ocean, when you go. So prestige adrift means when his success, when his fame, or everything that he thought that was constructed totally faded away, okay? And if you want to Google this here, it's a map of Paris, okay? So this is a map of Paris that you can see here, the Seine River crossing completely, okay? And he decided to do this like really French style face with this thing that says amour, love, in black, dripping with a little halo here. Completely sad. This is a very nostalgic piece, okay? So the artist is talking when he really realized in Paris, after he talked with Maria, after he started realizing the monster that he was becoming, that his prestige was going totally out of hand, okay? So this... Okay, so we come to the next piece. 1964, okay? This is the date where the artist really started his spiritual awakening, when he really started his quest, okay? And this is the piece up here, okay? So he started reading a lot of pre-Hispanic theories, cultures. He started getting into all this. I mean, there's a vast way to really start a spiritual path, okay? Like, he just started connecting with everything that he started finding. And this is a Mayan number, okay? So the stick and the two little holes means 900 in Mayan numbers, okay? And 64, so is 1964, the date where he started his spiritual awakening, okay? And also, he discovered the Nahuals. So everybody, I mean, you're Mexican, of course, you know the Nahual. Okay, so he started connecting with his different Nahuals, and the first one that he connected with was a woman Nahual, that is Mother Nature, okay? So that's why the 64, he decided to paint it green, okay? Because it's Mother Nature. When he really started connected to his roots and who I am, and he started to feel protected by his mother Nahual, okay? anybody know what assomatos mean? Assomatos is something that it's incorporeal, that doesn't have a body, that it's abstract, okay? Like a ghost or energy or a state of mind, that's assomatos, okay? It's like a power. Rollout is really when it rolls out, okay? So the artist decided to create this piece, which he framed in a golden square. Why is it a golden square? In the psychology of colors, gold is a color, it's really easy, okay? What does gold mean? That it's worth, that it's prestigious, that it's maybe, it has a big value, okay? So that's gold, that's a color gold in color psychology. So he decided to do a golden frame where he put inside 3 words that really help him throughout his spiritual journey, okay? One is karma, the law of action and response, okay? Infinity or more, infinity or mass. Got it from Latin, okay? And then Josh. What does Josh mean? Josh means you only see here, the present moment. Remember the first piece that we talked about, where he was all about the present moment, and then here, the footsteps that we saw in the ground, the planet that was grounding you, okay? So everything has to do with that, okay? You only see here, karma, infinity, or more. Paradises, okay? Do you see this tree? Okay, I'm glad that you see it because this is not the piece. The piece is that one over there. That tree over there. Do you see that tree? Okay, what's the shape of that tree? Yeah, that tree. Do you think that tree is a little bit weird, a little bit special, a little bit rare?
It's green and then it's dead.
Exactly. So if you see this piece, the artist came a long time ago to Mexico to create this piece, okay? Because when he was in the monastery, he started studying Mendel. Does anybody know who Mendel is? Mendel. Mendel, he was, philosopher, a scientist. He was a monk as well. So he's the father of genetics, okay? So the artist, before he knew that he wanted to dedicate his life to art, he started doing a lot of genetic experiments with plants, and he created this piece that's called Paradises. What does Paradises mean? Come on, this is easy. Help me out. Heaven. What else? Paradise, the Garden of Eden, you know? All this means paradise. So this tree here resembles that, okay? So first is the house that's totally empty, it's totally down there. But then he started going through like a lot of foliage, a lot of things that he was growing, and then he tried a little bit more because the spiritual path is not linear. It's a cycle and it doesn't have a way, you know, it's not like you're perfect, now you started working on yourself and you're perfect. No. You go through down, you go through up, you know, it's cyclical. So that's what he wanted to resemble in this piece until the end, where you reach emptiness. Emptiness, people think that it's a bad thing, but in Buddhist traditions is when you really learn to touch the vastity of everything, where everything comes from nothing and everything is everything. Okay, so this tree resembles the paradise, the enlightened, the final step where you want to reach. Nitty-gritty is a really English saying, okay? That it means when you want to go to the bottom of something, when you want to talk about the important thing. So when we say, let's get to the nitty-gritty of the conversation, what's the nitty-gritty of the movie? So it's like the substance, okay? Like the conclusion or like the more important aspects, okay? This piece is quite simple. This piece has to do more with the formal aspects and the materials, okay? So he decided to do two holes that come up and 2 holes that go down, okay? Because to analyze something, first you have to go to the depth of things to realize what's going on until you take it up to the surface and you share. Because now, if you don't do it that way, if you really don't go deep and you analyze and you stir it out there, or you leave it inside, it's pure intellectualism. And we don't want to live in a world full of intellectualism. We want to live in a world of experience, okay? What's the point of being intellectual if you don't really share and you don't really talk about the things that you live? It's pure theory. You want to experiment. So this piece is about that, the nitty-gritty of life. You go deep and then you take it out and you share. vigor, strength, okay? When something is metal, something is solid. And brute is a beast, okay? So this piece is completely related to the other piece that we saw that it was 1964, okay? Because what's this? What do we see here?
Green.
What do we see here?
Like a blur. Green.
Like a blur? Exactly, yes. We see like fog, like a blur. What else do we see? I mean, it is a fresco, of course. Like, that's the technique that he used to do this piece, okay? So this is his peak, this is his eyes, this is his whole face, okay? So metal brute is his nawal, it's his spirit animal, okay? So he decided to do his piece as a spirit animal because there's some quizzes in internet that you can go inside to see what's your spiritual animal. And your spiritual animal is not always the same because we change in every stage of the path, in every stage of the way, okay? In this case, when he decided to do this piece, he chose an owl. I mean, the owl is a creature that he sees, but he observes more, and it's something more intellectual. It's something that has to do more with feeling and with something that is, you know, like all the peripheral things that he's observing. He doesn't really see with his eyes. So when you're going through a spiritual quest, it's not really about reading only with your eyes and seeing. It's more about feeling and observing. So when the owl is your nawal, or your spiritual animal, you really have to look inside. You really have to listen, and you really have to feel, because that's what the owls do to survive.